I made $10,000 in less than 24 hours without a sales page, without ads, and without even a plan. And today I'm not just gonna tell you how I did it, I'm gonna break down the messy steps so you can actually steal them and use them for yourself. So step 1, offer first, details later. Before I ever posted anything publicly, before I ever even sold a single spot, I did something that most people forget to do. I went into full-blown P.T. Barnum mode. So you might recognize the name from the movie The Greatest Showman, but he was actually a real guy. So when he was one of the greatest marketers who ever existed, and this was long before the internet. P.T. Barnum was actually America's second millionaire, but he didn't make that money by building the best product first. Actually, a lot of his products were humbugs, but he made it by dreaming up the weirdest, wildest, most outrageous ideas and getting people excited about them before they even existed. And so that's the energy that you have to tap into with this P.T. Barnum thinking, is to just think of the craziest, amazing, creative offer ideas first, figure out the details and the logistics later. So I asked myself, what's the most ridiculously fun challenge that I could create that actually gets people leads and sales starting from day one? How would I do that? And I let myself dream without the brakes on. So I just grabbed ChatGPT, I opened up a fresh doc, and I just started brain dumping. And I was coming up with things like, okay, I want 75 hard for content, but fun. I want gamified posting where people are gonna earn prizes. I wanna build a revenue routine, which is just like 5 simple daily actions that are gonna stack momentum and cash. And I want a competitive leaderboard so that people aren't just accountable to themselves. They also have this like peer pressure because they're competing with their peers, because who wants to be left behind? And I wanted to create a system where taking imperfect, fast action was literally the whole point. And the more I just dumped it out, the more it came to life in my head. I could see it, that people wouldn't just learn about content, they would actually do it. They'd post it, they'd sell, they'd feel the wins stacking up so that they'd want to keep playing. But let me remind you, at this point, this was all in my head and a Google Doc. Still private, I hadn't launched anything yet. So I was just, at this point, just giving myself permission to create the dream version first. I knew the details could and would get figured out, but I just needed to give myself enough clarity and excitement that I could confidently invite people in. Which brings me to step 2, to post direct, fun offers, because the way that you make the first offer sets the whole tone for the entire experience that people are buying into. So if I had just posted something like, enrollment now open, here's the modules, here's the course curriculum, here's the corporate brochure, I would have killed the energy before it even started. So remember that the offer itself was a game. The invitation needed to feel like one too. So instead of this like stiff, overly polished launch post, I just made it fun and playful, like I was just inviting friends to a party. So here's what I basically said. I said, hey, if I created a challenge that turns content into a game where you can actually start generating leads and sales from day one, would you want in? If I get enough interest, I'll do it. I just posted that. There was no pressure. There was just this, hey, this could be so fun. Do you want to play? And that's the magic most people miss, because when you invite people into a vision instead of into a to-do list. So I love doing this. Every time I launch something new is I will run it by my audience first before ever building it, which is actually how we validated the idea of selling tickets to our wedding, which I made an entire video about. You can see that below. And with Content Game, because they were part of the momentum from the beginning, they felt invested in the idea before they ever actually physically paid a dime. So once the first few hands shot up, once I knew it was game on, I just started posting more. And if you're watching this as someone who thought, oh my gosh, I thought I had to have everything built out before I could actually sell it, you're gonna laugh when you hear what I actually did next. So step 3 is to create urgent, imperfect action. And I think there's a lot of power in the phrase, success loves speed. I had this idea and I wanted to act on it while the creative juices were flowing. So I made that post, hands were flying up, people were DMing me, and so I had interest, I had momentum. And then the most hilarious part is, what did I do? I grabbed the 3 fastest, simplest tools I could think of: a Google Doc, ChatGPT, and a Stripe payment link. That is it. And because I didn't have time or patience to overthink it, I just kept it fun. I just brain dumped, again, all my ideas into ChatGPT. And the Google Doc basically just said, here's the game, here's what you'll get, here's how we're gonna blow up your lead flow by playing, And if you're in, click here to grab your spot. Also included, hey, it starts on this date, so there's actual urgency to sign up before it starts, and also gave me the time to create it. So I just made it simple, playful, and easy to say yes to. And then at the bottom of the doc was just this plain Stripe checkout link, just a click here if you want to join the game when we start on this date. Here's what I need you to hear. I didn't lose a single sale because I didn't have a perfect sales page, because people aren't buying the perfection in the outcome. What they're buying is that momentum and the energy and the promise of the outcome. They're also buying themselves into action. And this is the craziest and the most amazing part, is that while people were buying, while they were signing up, I still hadn't fully built out the 30 days of the challenge yet. All I had was the concept, the first few steps, but I had total confidence that I could build it live alongside them, because you don't need step 100 figured out before you take step 1. And most people waste so much time trying to plan the perfect 100 steps ahead that they never even take the first 2 steps that would have given them the better next steps to take anyway. Perfection kills momentum, and momentum is what builds mastery. And so now if you're wondering, okay, cool, but how did you actually sell it without a funnel, without ads, without a launch team pulling all-nighters? Let me tell you, this is where things got even simpler and way more powerful. So step 4 is about making sales stupid simple. It almost felt unfair. We don't use any crazy tech, no pitch decks or endless nurture sequence. We are just connecting with people, building momentum, and sending out unapologetic invitations. So let me show you exactly how I turned the first few hand raises into $10,000 cash collected, and why this part matters even more than you think. So stupid simple sales doesn't just mean that I have a Stripe link. It also meant that I didn't sit around waiting for people to magically find it and sign up. I went back to my post where the people were commenting saying, yes, I'm in, or I want this, or sounds amazing. I went to every single person that raised their hand and I sent them a DM. I was like, hey, I saw you're interested. Here's the details. It's starting on this date. And if you sign up right now, it's 75% off. So there's like some real urgency. That's it. Okay. There was like no weirdness. It wasn't awkward. I just invited them because they've already shown interest. So here it is. So selling isn't pushing something onto someone. Selling is prescribing the exact thing that can help them. So it's like if you were a doctor and someone walks into your office and they're like gasping for air, you wouldn't stand there and be like, well, they didn't ask for oxygen yet and I don't want to bother them, or I don't want them to think that I'm being salesy, God forbid. So I'll just wait until they fill out the right paperwork. No, you grab the oxygen tank and you give them what they need. That is what selling is. It's oxygen, it's service. It is a moral obligation when you know that you can help someone. After I DM'd someone who raised their hand, I didn't stop there. I made more posts. I made posts that to me felt so fun. And so I just installed the same content game rules on myself. I used the revenue routine that then I started teaching. I kept making more invitations every single day. So I showed people that I was playing a game and that it was fun and that it was working. And when people saw it, they wanted in, because again, that excitement was contagious. So I wasn't hiding behind my offer. I was DMing people also that I knew could use this and said, hey, I just thought of you. I think this could help you. Because if you know you have a solution to someone's problem, why would you keep it to yourself? And that's also part of what I teach inside the content game too, how to be audacious with your invitations, and also to follow up too, because the fruit is in the follow-up, but most people quit right before the harvest. They send one message or they post one offer, and if they don't get an instant yes, they back off. But what if you are literally one more DM away, one 20-second message that could change your month or your business or put a whole bunch more money in your bank account? And the difference between people who play the game and people who win the game is that the winners follow through. The fortune's not just in the follow-up, it's in the people that are brave enough to stay in the conversation when everyone else gets scared and ghosts. Here's the part that most creators don't talk about, is that, again, I didn't have the full challenge mapped out when I sold it, but I built it live with my beta group, and they would give me feedback in real time so I could make the program even better as we went. So I sold the outcome, not the deliverables. And because they helped shape it, they felt invested and they were excited, and that's where the results come fast. So as wild as this launch was, as fast and messy and also simple it was, what it taught me, I think, was actually way more valuable than the $10,000, because when you pull off something like this, you realize some hard truths about why most people stay stuck. If you can actually get this in your bones, I think this can shortcut years off your success. You ready? Number 1, simplicity sells. Most people are trying to sell complexity, but people don't want to buy another mess. They want something that just feels clear, minimum viable, and unstoppable. Number 2, energy matters more than polish. If you show up like you're already winning, people want to follow you to the finish line. Number 3, perfection kills momentum. Action is the credibility. Your audience doesn't need you to be perfect. They need to see you moving. And number 4, action attracts action. The more you play, the more they play. So your momentum basically becomes there. Play bigger and you will pull bigger players into your world. Now, would I change anything if I did it again? Yes, but I wouldn't add like another 47 steps and I wouldn't build a monster funnel. Maybe I'd have a more optimized checkout page to squeeze out a little bit extra cash. Or maybe I wouldn't touch a thing because I think the messy launch and the fast action and imperfect momentum is maybe what made it work. Done doesn't beat perfect. I think done destroys perfect every single time. So if you want me to show you how you can build your own messy $10,000 launch, click the link below. I'll show you how you can do that inside the content game. And if you're thinking, what do I actually say without sounding like a desperate weirdo in the DMs? I got you. I made a full video showing exactly how I write fun, natural DM outreach messages with ChatGPT, not the copy and paste scripts that make you cringe. Click here and I'll show you how it's done. What are you waiting for?